ARK Invest holds 191 different stocks across its entire portfolio, according to the latest Q2 report. And I spent hours digging through every single SEC filing, cross-referencing all ARK ETFs, there's 8 of them, and figured out exactly what Cathie Wood owns right now. I combined everything into a master list, added up all the totals, and I narrowed it down to the 5 biggest overall holdings for ARK Invest. So these aren't just her favorite stocks, these are the companies that define ARK Invest's entire investment strategy going into 2026. So as of October 2025, ARK Invest manages more than $15 billion in assets across a lineup of different funds focused entirely on disruptive innovation. They currently have about 8 ETFs under management. 6 of these are actively managed and 2 of them are index-based. So if you go to their website, you can see the active ETFs are listed right here. We have ARKF, which is focused on payments, blockchain, and digital banking. We have ARKG, which is focused on biotech and gene editing. ARKK, which is their flagship fund focused on breakthrough technologies and disruptive innovation. ARKQ, which is everything from EVs to automation. ARKW, which is exposure to cloud, AI, and digital media. And ARKX, which is ultimately focused on aerospace and satellite. These are their 6 actively managed ETFs. They also have 2 index funds. One of them is IZRL, which is focused on Israeli tech innovation, and PRNT, which is focused on 3D printing. So that makes up the 8 ETFs. On top of this, they also have 2 additional funds. So they co-manage the ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF, symbol ARKB, which is focused strictly on investing in Bitcoin. And they also have ARKVX, which focuses on private market startups. So I went through all 10 of these, all of the SEC filings, and added up every single position. And now we have a list of the top 5 holdings in their entire portfolio with breakdown percentages. So the 5th largest position in ARK Invest's entire portfolio is Roblox. Roblox is a stock that we've talked about a number of times on my other channel, and Roblox is ARK Invest's play on the metaverse and digital creation. So many people wrote off the metaverse narrative, and ARK Invest still remains bullish on this despite all the controversy. So Roblox has built a big economy of creators, millions of developers generating virtual experiences, digital goods, and immersive ad placements. And so Roblox is ultimately evolving from a gaming platform into a social and economic ecosystem where entertainment, education, and commerce are going to all combine into one. So ARK believes Roblox could become one of the foundational layers of the next generation internet, and Cathie Wood calls Roblox like the interactive digital economy. 4th largest stock is one that I like a lot, and that is Robinhood. Robinhood is a stock that is ARK's flagship fintech play. And in 2025, Robinhood has been expanding very quickly. They've rolled out a number of new features. They've launched the Robinhood Gold Card with 3% cash back for Gold members, which is one of the most competitive cards in fintech. They rolled out Robinhood Banking, which offers like checking and savings with up to 4% APY and even on-demand cash delivery in select cities. On top of this, on their trading site, they added futures, extended hours, and an AI analytics platform called Cortex. They even tested out event contracts, which is sort of like sports betting, which lets users bet on real-world outcomes like elections, sports, and a lot more. And so the company has surpassed 26 million users globally, and it has continued to outperform anyone's expectations. So for ARK, Robinhood ultimately represents the democratization of finance. They're turning every phone into a personal brokerage, bank, and financial coach. And so that is why Robinhood makes up the 4th largest position in their portfolio. The 3rd largest stock in ARK Invest's entire portfolio is surprising, and it's Roku. Roku represents 5.45% of ARK's portfolio, and Roku gives ARK exposure to the streaming revolution. So despite a bunch of competition from Amazon, Apple, Google, like Roku has ultimately maintained its role as the neutral operating system for connected TV. So it's an ad tech stack and user data insights ultimately make Roku a core player in the future of targeted advertising. So ARK's conviction with Roku is pretty simple. They believe that as audiences cut, cable out of their households, they believe that Roku's platform economics and advertising potential are just going to continue to grow stronger and stronger. The second largest position is Coinbase. Coinbase represents 6.74% of ARK's entire portfolio, and it's ARK's main exposure to the crypto market. So recently, Coinbase integrated a decentralized exchange directly into its main app, which I've talked about on my other channels. And ultimately, this DEX lets users trade base network assets on-chain without leaving Coinbase. They're also expanding their derivatives through like futures and rolling out new tools for developers building on Base. They're doing a lot of this for US users, which is going to help see a lot more growth there. ARK sees Coinbase as the financial backbone for the entire crypto market. Coinbase combines custody, trading, infrastructure, and they do this for institutions and retail investors. So in their view, Coinbase isn't just an exchange, it's the on-ramp for the entire tokenized economy, which many people are projecting to be worth tens of trillions of dollars over the coming years. So the number one largest stock in their entire portfolio is Tesla. This represents 7.17% of ARK's entire portfolio, and it remains the centerpiece for ARK's portfolio. In Q3 of 2025, Tesla delivered a record 497,099 vehicles, and they produced over 447,000. This was their strongest quarter ever, and they also deployed 12.5 gigawatt hertz of energy storage, reinforcing Tesla's expansion just beyond being an automaker and vehicle company. So this quarter, Tesla also completed its first fully autonomous customer delivery. They delivered a Model Y that drove itself from the factory to the customer's driveway with no human interaction. And so ARK Invest has Tesla as their largest position, not just because of what they're doing with cars, but they believe that Tesla is like a platform for AI, robotics, clean energy systems, and it's the foundation of their belief that autonomy and electrification will define the next decade of industrial growth. They think that Tesla's going to be able to roll out the autonomous taxis. They think that Tesla's going to take over in clean energy and robotics, and that is why it represents the largest position in their portfolio. So ultimately, if we look at their biggest holdings, Tesla, Coinbase, Roku, Robinhood, and Roblox, ultimately these show you what ARK Invest believes the future is going to be. They define Cathie Wood's 2026 projections. It shows you their high conviction, innovation driven, and they're positioned for the technologies that are just reshaping everyday life. So these are their 5 biggest holdings, and they're ones that you really don't want to be missing out on going into the next few years and into 2026.